Shawn French, what up? This one luck, I let the pain inspire me. I put my all in everything I'm doing. Up until it's done, I'm me for the entirety. I put it in overtime, I be working. Just know I'ma go for mine, cause I earned it. They watching, I know it's time, I confirmed it. A whole society determined success.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I am your host, Shawn French. This is the Determined Society, and I have with me today a good friend. He's a 9-figure entrepreneur, investor, philanthropist. He is the host of the hit podcast, Unstoppable. He's a master life and business strategist, national speaker. My boy, Steven Scoggins. What's up, dog?
What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
Dude, it's great to see your face, man. It's always great to see you, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we definitely vibed when you came on the show. And been fast friends ever since. I loved it.
Bro, isn't that crazy how that works? It's like I have more, I told you before we recorded, I feel like I'm getting sick. But how many good friends do you have that you've never freaking met?
Oh, bro. You know what's crazy about a podcast is you make fast friends with a lot of people you vibe with, right? You have value alignment, goal alignment, dream alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say at least 1/3 of the people that I've had on the show have become fast friends.
It's nuts to me.
We've been over 250 episodes, so that gives you an idea.
I know. So you have a lot of friends. Yeah. I think I'm by this time this comes out, so 15, 16, 17, probably 118, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like I feel like most of my friends that I vibe well with are in this, creator / podcast entrepreneur type space. And here's my I guess my hypothesis is we're all wanting more, right? We're blissfully dissatisfied. Like Ed Milet would say, we are just constantly striving to find more and do more and to make a bigger impact in this world. What is your take on that, man?
You know what? I find that people are going through what I call an awakening, more so than I've ever seen in my entire life before. I think society as a whole, or culture as a whole, for the last 20 years has told us that we had to be something we're not. Lawyers need to be painters and painters need to be lawyers. And we try to fit ourselves in boxes. Our parents said we should do this, we should do that, but we're really called to this. And I think it seems like it takes almost an entire lifetime to figure out what it is that you're really called to do. Yeah. Right. And I like to start people off a little bit earlier than that, kind of figure out, okay, what is it that you're really stinking good at, that you're natural at? And 90% of the time, you don't know what you're great at. You have to have other people that know you well enough to know, like, dude. Well, I know, we use sports analogies for fun. Let's say I could throw a fastball better than anybody else in the country, right? To me, I'm just throwing the ball. To my best buddies, like, you have no idea how really good you are at that. That you're a natural, right? And I find that that's a skill set that most people don't fully, kind of recognize, which is another reason why I'm big into mentorship groups and masterminds and coaching and strategy sessions and stuff like that, because you have to have a data mining source or emotional data mining source to really figure that stuff out. So to answer your question fully, I think it's because there's a bit of an awakening happening. I think people understand they've been sold a bill of goods. Go to school, go to college, get in high levels of debt, try to figure your way out of it, hope for the best. And then 40 years in, you're like, holy crap, where's my life gone? And I'm not happy, fulfilled, or joyful. And again, I think it's all because you don't live the life you were actually meant to live. You're living someone else's life. And again, I think people are just awakening up to that. You got massive leaders doing that and kind of helping us through that journey.
That's a really good point, Steven, because I felt like it really exploded right around, the onset of COVID. And that could have been just because that's when I started my journey. That's when I had my own personal awakening. It's like, wait a second. Like, out of all the dumb things that I've done in my life, I'm still here. If I die from touching my face, I'm going to be pretty pissed off, right? And it just made me think, like, yeah, I'm probably not going to die. But, at the same time am I doing what I want to do? And am I doing what I feel like I'm called to do? Is this my purpose? And is this truly my gift? And so I started doing the podcast, and it was really bad at first, man. Like, it was really, really terrible. And now I get a lot of comments like, dude, like, you are a natural. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not a natural. Like, I can talk. Like, that's what I'm gifted at, Steven. I can talk, right?
Talking in relationships,
building both conversations and really, truly deep relationships is one of my gifts, right? Those are my gifts. But I didn't realize it would turn into what it's turned into, right? But for me, like, it really did start right around COVID. And for everybody, it starts a little differently. So I'm just more kind of turned on to the fact, like, okay, that was the jump off point, but it might not necessarily be for everybody, right? Because you mentioned the last 20 years, you're seeing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the reality is again, the awakening is a byproduct of understanding your life is meant to be of service, not to be of taking. Right. So if you're going at life trying to take and trying to get as much as you can, hoard as much as you can, maneuver as much as you can, level up as much as you can without the intent of serving someone else or serving a business, serving a community, serving your family. Like, I can't say how much meaning and purpose is driven in service.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where the awakenings occur because I'm a big believer that you have to create a legacy that outlives you. And the only way you do that is to become the best version you can of yourself, one, and then share those tactics, those strategies, those lessons, those commonalities, those experiences, that wisdom with other people. And if you do that, you're going to find joy in meaning and purpose and fulfillment. If you don't do that, you're just trying to get the next biggest house, the next nicest car, or what. And look, that I have nice stuff. I'm very blessed. But my grandfather and my first mentor, Steve Mark, told me a long time ago is it's okay to own stuff as long as it doesn't own you. So it's a very small portion of my income, and I try to live that way. So I have more freedom. At the end of the day, people want freedom and fulfillment. And the way you get freedom is by being smart with principles and strategies and techniques, which you have to learn from other people because you cannot learn it in school. Right. I never went to college, so I can't really speak to college, but I don't believe you can learn it in college either. You can't learn life mastery techniques and business mastery strategies from people who have never done it.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
You have to learn from people that have actually been there, done that, got the t-shirt, got the hat, got the bat, got the kicks, got all of it, and then you could do really well, which is, I know it's a huge part of your journey. You have to have you on the show. It's like, you went through your own awakening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing we can do as light bearers, if you will, people who are trying to bring light to the world, is to incentivize people to go find that awakening for themselves. Stop settling for mediocrity. Start discovering who you really are. Start outlining your gifts. Start really kind of thinking about strategies to amplify those gifts. Look in the marketplace and see, hey, where can I get paid for those gifts? Right? Because then you're serving. You're impacting while earning an income. So now you have fulfillment in the impact. As a byproduct, you're getting income. Your next thing you know, this stuff's starting to flow to you. You're not really having to try very hard because it's natural, it's congruent, it's alignment, it's true. And I feel like that's what you're seeing happening right now. I know that's what I'm seeing happen as I'm traveling around the country doing different events and whatnot. Working with other thought leaders and kind of in our sphere and our ecosystem, and they're all doing the same thing. They're all trying to figure out who they can best serve, and they're all creating products, goods, and services with the intent to impact, knowing that if you do that well, a byproduct is creating an income, right? And I see that a lot right now.
Yeah, dude. And what's so funny? Like I'm listening to all this, and I fully subscribe to it. And that's the thing. Like we need to make an impact, right, by leveraging our gifts, right? And if we make that impact by leveraging our gifts and we serve others, whether it's a conversation, a coaching program, a trinket, doesn't matter, right? Yeah. Or if you're making the next Gatorade, whatever it is, like you will be paid for that. But I think a lot of times when people go through that journey, and it's something that I experienced early on, and it's something that I really try to explain to people that are just getting started, like, hey, how did you build this? And like, I want to be where you're at. Like right now, I'm like, well, I don't even know where I'm at right now. And I think that's partly why I'm being successful, because I don't really turn myself on to that. Like I just, I know I have a purpose. I'm nowhere near where my purpose is. So I feel like every day I'm constantly pushing and pulling to get to that level that I want to be at. But people really need to understand, it's not just because you find something like that gift that you want to leverage and you can monetize it. Too many people try to go hard right away and just like, okay, well, I'm just going to start doing all this cold outreach. I'm going to build this, this company, and I'm going to start charging people $20,000 for 3 months to do something that I've never done before. And I think that like that is a key to what you said. Mm-hmm. For something or learn from somebody that's done it before. A good buddy of mine, Sergio, said something on I think it might have been Threads the other day or Facebook. But you might know Sergio. Nazar,
I don't know
he's
if I do or not.
awesome. He's awesome.
That's awesome. Dude.
I'll send you his profile later. He's just a no bullshit, like really cool dude, man. And he hits people right in between the eyes, and they don't like the feeling of it. And it was like he sold real estate for a very long time, right? Yeah. And he did very, very well. He lives in Colorado. And he said, like, dude, if you don't own your own home, you shouldn't be giving advice to renters about buying a house.
True.
And people they just got pissy over it. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with that? Like, if you're going to come to me and ask me how to build a podcast, right, to be in the top 25 in entrepreneurship, I've done that. I can teach you how to do that. Right. Yeah. Of course, a lot of it is, okay, systems and back end and things like that. Like, what kind of conversations do you really have? Because as we're speaking right now, people are like going, holy shit, this is an authentic conversation. There's no script. Yeah, that's why people listen. Yeah. That's why people listen to our shows, is because it's real. So we can tell them all that, but then you also have to have that voice, that gift, the ability to layer conversation and questions to a point where people go, my God, I got to share that. I got to listen next week, and I got to binge everything that I haven't listened to yet. But it takes time, is my point. And, long story long, that is the point. Like, just because you find something doesn't mean it's going to happen right now. Yeah. It was a lonely 3.5 years, Stephen.
For sure. Absolutely.
It hurt.
Yeah. Well, think about it this way. Like, one of the things, all right, so I told you offline last time after we finished the show, at my show, that I've been recently helping a lot of thought leaders actually monetize, because 98% of them never do. Yep. And as a result, 5 years in, 6 years in, they give up, even though they have a fantastic message that's meaningful, etc. And it dawned on me that one of the reasons that's happened is because they spend a lot of time copycatting other people.
Oh, don't get me started. Okay, you're stepping in it now. Keep going. Keep going.
So-and-so's funnel works this way.
You hear the sad story all the time. A father or mother passes away and didn't have life insurance, and the family is left to deal with the debt and struggle without any financial help. That's where term life insurance comes in. It can help protect the family financially from those struggles if something unexpected were to happen to you or your spouse. Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance you can get done today for busy parents like you, all online, on your schedule, right from your couch. You can be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. If you got kids, and especially if you're young and healthy, the time to lock in low rates is now. Even if you have life insurance through your employer, it may not offer enough protection for your family, and it may not follow you if you leave your job. There's no risk. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. Join thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help their family. Apply in just minutes at meetfabric.com/TDS. Meetfabric.com/TDS. MEET fabric.com/TDS. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company. Not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
Hey, their marketing works this way, and their podcast is doing this, and their YouTube is doing that, and this is doing this, and this is doing that. And rather than saying, who am I? Who am I called to serve? What problem can I solve for people? What knowledge do I have? What experience do I have? And when you start aligning all those pieces, you get congruence, right? The problem is that's a very uncomfortable process. It's a very uncomfortable process to go inside before you bring anything to the outside, right? It's very uncomfortable. So when I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, how can I help them become more uncomfortable so I can get them congruent? Because uncomfortable activities breed congruent results, right? So if I know that I am, I use a doctor, okay? So I know I'm the best plastic surgeon in the world. I've got the best results, right? Then maybe what I should be teaching people is, this is the 10 things you need to know before you hire a surgeon, or the 3 things you need to think about in your recovery process, or the 8 things you need to think about before you even consider having a surgery, right? Those are things that actually serve the public with a specific skill set in mind. Now, that same surgeon may have had some coaching himself or herself. They may have done some coaching, life coaching and business coaching, right? But where you make money is where you can go deep, right? And if you've only done surface level activities, you can't get deep level income. Yeah, you can't get deep level impact, right? So I don't try to talk. I'm a Jesus guy. I love Jesus to death. There's no harm, no foul. Everybody knows that about me. I don't beat anybody up with it. I respect everybody's love and belief in the whole deal. I'm really stinking good at business. I don't know why. God bless me with the ability to, as my buddies tell me, Tony Stark it, right? Take things and, arrange them where they make sense, and then I'm good at life mastery stuff because I had to overhaul my entire freaking life.
Yeah.
Limiting beliefs, poverty mindset, scarcity, all of that stuff, right? And I don't go outside of those boxes. I don't go outside of those boxes because I'm not going to be my friend Ed Milet. I'm not going to be my friend, Marie Ford. I'm not them.
Right.
They've got their own niche. And another thing I was thinking of too, this is actually really prevalent. I've seen this a lot over the last decade with those that are, I believe they're called to teach. They get intimidated when somebody else is actually called to teach on the same subject matter, not realizing that the lens in which they teach it through will reach a totally different audience than person over here.
Yeah. I'm
a big believer in authenticity and congruence, and anything and everything you can do to get that was going to make everything else like just catapult forward. And, sometimes you have to go through the dark night of the soul. You had to do it. I had to do it. And again, that's an uncomfortable process.
It hurts, right? Man. Gosh.
So congruence breeds income.
It sure does, man. Impact. And dude, like it's just one of those things, man. When you started talking about the copycat, I gotta go back to that. You went a different route than I thought you were gonna go, but I think it's all relevant, right? So, I saw some things go on. You see it all the time on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has their own thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't say nobody. I mean, I haven't seen you craft anything other than who Steven Scoggins is.
I try.
Same here, right? Like, nothing we're saying is proprietary. Let's just all, like, I'm not on a soapbox here saying, like, we have our own intellectual property and you know what? No, we're all saying the same type of thing. It all has the same ideas, right?
Yeah.
But how we deliver it and it's completely, it should be completely, your own. Yeah. And I'm still seeing people, I'm still seeing things like, why are you watching Netflix? Like, dude, I watch Netflix all the time. Like the clickbait
break for a hot minute. That's why.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like at night, I'm gonna watch Hulu and I'm gonna watch Netflix with my wife. What's wrong with it? And I think a lot of times, influencers to get these clicks are spitting a nasty narrative that I think is very dangerous to the the general public. Like you have to be able to sift through the BS, and I don't think a lot of people have the ability to do that. And then they say, I'm not watching Netflix and I'm waking up at 2 a.m. and I'm going to lift and I'm, it's 11 a.m. and I've already worked out 17 times. It's like,
it's amazing how other people can make you feel guilty.
It's like, dude, right? I mean, dude, it's just crazy.
So here's, again, there are business principles and life principles that lead you somewhere. All right. So I'm a big believer that principles govern promises. Mm-hmm. So if you want to live the promise of financial freedom, you have to follow specific principles to get there. Mm-hmm. You want a beautiful relationship with your partner, great. There are principles you have to get there, like don't lie, don't cheat, stay connected, be intentional, like silly stuff, right? And the same holds true with professions and career and all that kind of stuff. I saw about 3 years ago a big shift into the just be gritty, just be determined, and there's truth to that. Mm-hmm. But what I saw happen was just being communicated in such a way where people were angry about it. Like, you got to be like so driven that you're angry about it. I'm like, that's not how
Where's the joy in that, man?
Like, I just got up and put one foot in front of the other and just kept going. And life hit me and I hit, and I had to recover. And, it's just, I think there's more said in determination when determination meets diligence. Mm-hmm. Right? But in order to create determination that meets diligence effectively, you have to determine high-level priorities. Right? So you have to get up already knowing what you want to do with your day. And whenever you get off track, you have to get back to that thing. Mm-hmm. Right? And by definition, that is determination, right? That's what you're all about, determination. It's like being determined doesn't have to be angry. Being determined doesn't mean you have to model somebody else, copy somebody else, but you got to be absolutely congruent and consistent with yourself.
Come on, man.
How you wake up each day, how you show up each day, let your yes be your yes and your no be your no, and all good things will happen.
I love this, man, because I this resonates with me. When I say I have a sadistic determination, because I do, it doesn't mean I'm a psychopath. It means I'm going to get up and I'm going to do the show. Like for instance, dude, all right, let's go a real life scenario right now. I don't feel good. I don't feel good right now. My rhomboids are cramping up. I feel a pit in I feel like this donkey punch in my chest. I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
But I'm on camera with my boy.
Yep.
One, because we scheduled it and we're both so darn busy. And if I didn't do this, I wouldn't get to have this great conversation. It'd probably be pushed out like a month and a half. And I'm like, I'm not waiting a month and a half to talk to my boy. But here's the thing, dude. And this is what I want everybody listening to understand. That's determination. It's not as sexy and gritty as people think it is. It's just doing. It's just showing up. It is that relentless pursuit, right? In being congruent with what it is we are setting out to do, right?
Yep.
If I'm going to build this show and I'm going to do what I need to do there, then no matter how many people listen, because there was a time, bro, that I would look at my analytics. I'm like, oh my God, why am I even doing this? Like, there's like, I don't even know if my parents are listening. Like, you know, like 25 listens. That was a real thing. You know, now we get to a point where, you know, we had 96,000 downloads last month.
I want to stop you there for a second, okay? Just for a hot second, because I want your audience to understand this.
Go for it.
Because I think we gloss over human beings because we're focused on numbers. Not saying that was the case then, but
no.
Like, I decided a long time ago, one or none, I'm showing up. One or none, 10,000, doesn't matter. I just spoke at a conference, 500, 600, 700 people, which is great. I've also spoken at conferences of 2. Right? The most effective people I know, it's not about the audience, it's about showing up for the audience person that's there. So those 25 people that were listening, it doesn't matter if they were just family and friends.
Yep.
Right? You were giving your absolute best. And I guarantee, after knowing you the way I know you were dropping nuggets that they applied.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely, man.
If that wasn't happening, then it wouldn't have exponentially increased.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to take away from the fact, because I really feel like, especially in today's culture, if we don't have 100,000 followers or a million subscribers or whatever, we feel less than.
Right. Not
realizing the person that's on the other end actually needed the content that we were sharing that day, which is why they were there that day.
Yeah.
Right. You're by definition creating a broader impact because you chose to show up.
Yeah. And I think that's the point, right? You know, to your point, like, and you know me, I 100% agree with what you're saying.
Yep.
It's just those numbers don't turn into what they are now if you do not continue to show up.
1,000%.
And those individuals, those 25 or however many now that are showing up and consuming the content, aren't they determined for listening to the Determined Society or the show Unstoppable?
Yep. 1,000%.
1,000%, right?
They're telling friends and family because they got impact.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. I love the you know me, you, and Amberly Lago love the word unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's almost like, do these three, like, do they plan this? So your show Unstoppable, man.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. It's such an amazing show. I left you a gleaming review the other day, by the way.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely earned. But dude, that word unstoppable.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you, man?
So unstoppable to me is not a word at all. It's a lifestyle.
Whoa.
Okay. So for the audience that doesn't know, I born and raised in a difficult environment, right? Did graduate high school, had to help family pay the bills, dropped out of high school, built a business from scratch, was homeless, a whole deal, right? And there's been a lot of people that have shared in my story, so I don't go into it as much as I used to, but the grand scheme of things, unstoppable is choosing to get up one more time and you get knocked down, knowing that you're going to get knocked down thousands of times.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Right. Mm-hmm. I love the Rocky Balboa movies just in general because the dude has every single time he gets his butt knocked down and he sulks for a few days or a week or licks his wounds and cleans himself up. And then he gets a coach, a strategist, someone in his ear like, dude, let's go. Right. Mm-hmm. And then he's all of a sudden he's lifting baskets and hanging from the ceiling and doing these crazy workouts as his rebuild, his rebirth, if you will, and if you're willing to face the adversity and lean into it versus trying to resist it, not only will you move through it quicker, it'll elevate you faster. So you move through the transition quicker, but you also elevate faster because you mature faster. As you mature faster, you end up with more capacity. More capacity means more opportunity. More opportunity means your income rises, your relationships get better, your friendships get better, your community impact gets better, everything gets better. but it's only for those that refuse to lean away from adversity. They have to lean into it, right? And for me, Unstoppable is a lifestyle, right? It's a predetermined choice. I don't wake up each day and wonder if I'm going to commit this day. Like I'm like everybody else. I'll go through insecure moments every now and again. Like, I had a client recently that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And I was like, dude, what's going on? And then it took us 2 weeks to work it out. Right. But in the middle, I was like, should I really be trying to do this? Like everybody faces that. The difference is we kept going.
Yeah. Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And being unstoppable, again, you want a great relationship? Great. Be intentional. You want high levels of financial impact? Great. Be intentional. Right? You want to wake up every day on purpose with a mission, with fulfillment and meaning and significance and joy? Great. Be intentional. Right? Don't let your circumstances dictate your opportunities. Let your opportunities translate your circumstances. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. It's funny because when I wrote my book, Unstoppable, it was about all of my daily habits that got me from, being from rock bottoms, high school teacher, like no money at all, to six figures within 7 months. I mean, it's a true story that happened, right?
Yeah.
And most of it, when I was writing it, was just about, okay, these are just my processes. This is my strategy.
Yeah.
But really what it was a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's I love that you said that, dude. I love that you said that because the clarification of not a word, but a lifestyle, that just resonated with somebody listening right now.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, I don't need to talk about it. I need to live it. And when you live it, these amazing things happen to you. Right. Yeah. And I think that another thing that really caught my attention when you were speaking there was, insecurities, limiting beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
These limiting beliefs are wired, they're there, and they're trying their best to hold us back. But you and I speak a lot we both do, about overcoming limiting beliefs and insecurities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are some of the strategies that you've, utilized yourself to rid? I don't want to say rid them because we never get rid of them completely, but we can manage through them. Right.
Yeah, you do level up. So as you're able to conquer a specific limiting belief, you're able to live out a specific new level of fulfillment that then you have to conquer yet another limiting belief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's a transition process. So one of the easiest tools that I've ever used to work through limiting belief issues is to remind myself of times when I thought I couldn't do it, and when I pushed through, great stuff happened. Right, and I use that all the time. I forgot there's a term for it. It's like success bias. Like, okay, for example, I built a large company from homelessness out of the trash piles of a construction site. Okay. Many, many times in the course of that 25-year history before I exited last year that I want to give up.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give up on myself, me learning how to lead, me learning what accounting looked like, me learning what efficiency looked like, operations looked like, fulfillment looked like there was 1,000 times I wanted to give up. Okay. And the reason I say that is because I had to pull from the trash piles a few times and say, you know what, Stephen, you're about to break through the $50 million ceiling. If this is 10 years ago, you're about to break through the $50 million ceiling. And I was like, I can't do it. I've been stuck at 46 million for 2 years. I can't do it. And I literally had to say, you know what? You're the guy that started a construction company from a trash pile, dude, with a hammer and a nail and no freaking money, no credit, nothing. And you made it from 0 to 50 million with energy, effort, diligence, determination, fight, grit, tenacity. And yes, I made a bazillion mistakes along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I used that in that moment to push me over the $50 million threshold. I went from 50 million to 80 million really quickly after that. Okay. And that's an example of, you have to remind yourself of times when things weren't going the way you wanted them to go, but yet you pushed through. You end up getting the goal or a elevated version of that goal. Because I find that a lot of times we make things worse than they are or better than they are in our mind, right? We don't
of course.
Have a complete picture, right? So in my case, many times where I pushed through because of the success principle piece, a lot of times my outcome was greater than I expected, not worse, not less than, greater than. So if you take a time when you thought you were going to give up and you really look at it and you really acknowledge, look, I thought I was going to give up. I thought it was going to take me out. I thought the rug was coming out from my legs. I thought I was getting punched in the gut and punched in the face. I pushed through. I continued the battle. I continued the fight. I won the fight. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Right? Go win the next fight. Going back to Rocky Balboa, it's the same thing, right? He goes and wins the first fight, gets his butt kicked, goes back in the next movie, gets his butt kicked, has to run. Oh, no, I could do this. Like to me, that's the easiest way and the most effective principle in combating limiting beliefs. It's not necessarily manifestation. It's not necessarily visualization and all that kind of stuff. There's elements of this stuff like that.
Of course,
that makes sense, and goal setting and vision boards and all this kind of stuff. But will you remind yourself that you're a warrior at heart? Then it's easier to pick up a sword.
Southwest Florida is one of the most beautiful places on the planet to live. For those of you that are thinking of moving from other states to come to Florida, or even just moving to a different part of the state, I want you to think of a big, beautiful luxury home. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. They are a family-owned and operated luxury residential construction company. As a family-owned business, they believe in the power of building not just homes, but legacies. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. The nightmare of feeling like you'll never measure up, of constant second guessing and self-doubt. It eats away at you and destroys your confidence. I've been there too, feeling like I didn't belong on the field with my teammates, but it doesn't have to stay that way. I used to compare myself to everyone around me. I thought that no matter how hard I worked, I'd never be as good as the other guys. It killed my self-belief. I now help athletes develop an elite mindset so comparison no longer controls them. We teach techniques to cut out the negative self-talk and unlock their full potential. Imagine stepping into the box when it counts the most and feeling totally confident in your ability, feeling invincible instead of insecure, ready to seize the opportunity instead of shrinking from it. That's the mindset I help athletes develop. Don't waste another minute on comparison and self-doubt. Take control of your mindset and become the confident, unstoppable competitor you are meant to be. DM or comment below to get started with Edge and transform your mental game.
That dude, I mean, those insecurities and those I can't do that, they resurface at multiple times throughout your journey, just as you spoke.
Yep.
And they're at different levels. I always say new level, new devil, right?
Yep.
Right now I'm sitting here and, rebranding and relaunching, and of course, no, not everybody knows what's going on behind the scenes, but
yeah,
dude, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Like I'm afraid. And, so we're that used to, that's a great thing. Right.
Yeah.
But see, I think people misinterpret fear and being afraid. Right.
Yeah.
So when I feel that fear, like I'm about to be in so deep right now and putting myself and my partners out there in such a way in interviewing a certain level of people in a actual TV show, Hollywood shoot realm.
Yeah.
Like I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm behind a and then I'm thinking, wait a second. You have all these people betting on you, coming at you, bringing this to you.
Yeah.
Because you can do this. And I go back to yesterday. Yesterday I did my first time ever. I did a cold plunge.
Nice.
And dude, and I realized by the time this show comes out, it'll be outdated, but whatever. I was scared. I was scared.
Yeah.
And I sat there, dude. And Steven, I was like, I'm not doing this. Yeah. And a 17-year-old girl that worked there had to be like, listen, grab your stuff, give me your phone. Mm-hmm. I'm going to film it and you're going right now.
Yep.
I'm like, no, because it's cold. It's such as it. Yeah. And then she goes, I've already Googled you. So, why don't you go out there and do exactly what you tell your people that you say, what you coach them to do. Yeah. I was like, thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. And you're right, because we all get stuck in it. Right. And I went out there and I went 3 minutes, man, 3 minutes.
Awesome, dude.
And you know what I thought afterwards? In the middle of it, I said, wait, this isn't that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's everything that we're scared of. So for those of you listening, everything that you're anxious of and scared of, right, is not going to be that bad outside of losing someone that you love or your own health or something like that. But do the dang thing.
Yeah.
And it's not that bad.
Well, check this out. So I'm a big believer of turning anxiety into excitement. Mm-hmm. Okay. The easiest way to turn anxiety into excitement is to turn the I need to, I have to, into I get to. Mm-hmm. Right? So this thing you're launching, right? you're one of, I don't know, less than 1% of the people in the world that will ever tackle something like that.
Yeah.
You get to.
Yeah, I know. And dude, I'll tell you off air, you don't even know the half of it yet. It is crazy. And so to your point where when, like for me, like I think subconsciously I say I get to, but like real time, I'm like, I'm scared shitless. Okay. Action.
Yeah.
Like move, like make that phone call, call that brand, right?
Yeah.
You know, read this section of the operating agreement, understand it better, right? Like all these things like that propel me into action, that puts me in that space like, hey, wait a second, I get to do this. Like this is a blessing, right? But yeah, to your point, like there's not a lot of people that have tried this specific model.
And spent the time to do the diligence to put the team together, put the funding together, put all of it together and make it a reality to begin with.
My team,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, my team, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot say enough about these people. I wish I could say it, but I'm talking former NFL, former national champions, you know, top pickleball players in the world, fastest scoring actual real market agency on the planet. Dude, and they're all athletes.
Yeah.
This is going to be so exciting. But anyway, so I'm geeking out over it because that's the point, right? It's exciting. And when you try something that nobody else has done, how many people do you know that started a construction business out of a trash pile?
I'm the only one that I'm aware of.
Yeah. I mean, like
I'm
dude,
sure
like
I'm the only one I'm aware of.
I mean, like I've never heard that story other than yours. Right. So it's like, dude, like less than 1%.
And we'll check this out. So this is important too. So many people listen to other people once they've earned the credibility, right? Mm-hmm. So the reason people will listen to me now on business and life mastery content in general, is one is I'm sincere, 2 I'm congruent, and 3 I have the credibility to back it up.
Yeah.
Okay? So it also goes back to doing it ugly, just getting it done, doing it not perfect, getting it done. Like doesn't have to be perfect. It's an iteration. Like sometimes we feel like we have to be at like step 3.0 out of the gate, and you have to have a 1.0 and a 2.0 moment so you get the wisdom to know what you need to be doing and the character on your shoulders at 3.0 so you can handle it.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
What 2.0 are you on right now? Because I have no idea.
Bro, I quit counting because I just try to live well and do well, right? So
I'm like Apple 15. Like where are we at right now?
I guess I'm a 15 Pro Max. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. It's just crazy. But no, these are all great points, man. And when you lead a life like that, you get to do really cool things, right? You did something recently that you told me about. You got to ride on a Blackhawk, dude. Talk to the audience about that. Like, it's one of very few operating Blackhawks. Like, still,
as far as I know, there's only one in existence is publicly operated.
Wow.
And go by a gentleman I just met, a phenomenal human being. I met him at one of the events with Tony and Dane, and really cool experience. He's also a good friend of Randy Garnes, who's really super close to me. And I was invited to join him on the Blackhawk. And while I wish I could tell you everything that happened, because you can't on it. It was an exceptional piece.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, it was really cool. We took it back from Arizona all the way back to Utah, where I'm living now, and it was a once in a lifetime experience. Like I don't know if I'll get. I mean, obviously I'm connected to everybody, which is great, but I don't know when I'll get to do that again, right? And I'm now one of 20 people that have ridden a private Blackhawk around the United States.
That's nuts, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you take videos and pictures and stuff?
I did. Some of them we put on social, some of them we can't put on social. But yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go check it out. You have to send me some.
I did a couple reels yesterday while it was actually happening. But
I gotta go check them out, or you can send them to me on my cell.
Yeah. No, that's the thing though. It's like you get to do cool stuff.
Yeah.
When you have your credibility stripes.
Mm-hmm.
So why resist the credibility stripes? Why not just lean into it? Focus, like literally lean into it.
Yeah.
Get stronger, get smarter, get better, and keep going. And cool stuff will happen. Cool stuff will find you.
Dude, it's so true because I can think back to a time where, like I said, there was crickets, and like when you would approach partnerships and brands, it'd be like, yeah, dude, no. Yeah. Now the response is like, hey, can you send me what your levels are? Like how much do I go in at? I'm like, well, wait a second here. Like we're there now. right? And I know that I'm still getting going. We're starting to build it, right? Like, and that's the thing. It's like, but I had to go through all those moments, right? And the listeners, like, you got to go through all the moments, and I'm still trying to figure everything out. And
and when you're raising money for meaningful endeavors, like, all you have is your character and your integrity. That's what people are leaning into and choosing whether or not to invest into from the get-go. If they're in a position where they can invest and strategically do cool things and whatnot like that, they're coming in like, all right, well, how do I know this guy or this girl, kind of thing, and they're thinking through that. Or I always check as many sources as I can. People that, like, okay, this is the investment opportunity over here. Great. How many people do I know that knows that person?
Yeah.
And I said, hey, can you tell me about so and so? I don't tell them why I'm doing it. I was like, can you tell me about so and so? Are they good people? That, tell me about that kind of deal. And that gives me peace of mind sometimes to choose to invest in certain projects.
That's awesome, dude.
That's credibility.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So if you're incongruent and you're not living intentionally, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to break trust. When you break trust, you, by definition, delete future opportunities. Right.
Absolutely.
The reason you're able to raise funding and do the cool things for this massive project, what I'm super excited about, and we can't talk a lot about it, but I'm super excited. Right. On your behalf is because you have the trust. You have the character. People trust and know that if they partner with you, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure it's a massive success.
Yeah, dude, 100%, man. And and I appreciate that, but it's something that you never know you're earning when you're earning it, right?
Yep.
You just, like, you feel like you're Rocky losing your second fight. Yeah. Like, that's all you feel. And I think there's a reason, going back to the Rocky references, I don't know of a young man, like, in our era that did not love Rocky. And it was for a reason. America loved the underdog. America loved to see somebody win, get absolutely smoked and beat up, and have life happen to him, and then come back and win.
Notice in every single Rocky movie where he got his butt kicked, he came back stronger.
Yeah.
Which is how he became victorious.
Exactly.
Like, that's what life and being unstoppable and being determined is all about. It's just getting stronger. Like, just get stronger. You get your butt handed to you, great. Pick up some more weights. Read another book. Hire another coach. Try again. Save up some more money. Yeah. Like, Walt Disney went bankrupt I don't know how many times before Disney World happened.
Did you listen to the Founders episode of him?
I didn't. Strong.
No. Yeah. Okay. That's where I got the term sadistic determination from there. And he was determination. It was like, there's something that they explained. He had a raw ingenuity and sadistic determination. Wow. Like, the story of Walt Disney growing up as an entrepreneur and what he was willing to do in order to get to where he ultimately ended up is like, all we have to do to know everything about success and entrepreneurship and growing a brand and like you likes to say is growing and leaving a legacy that you can leave behind is all in that episode. Like, I don't ever really plug another show in my show unless it's the person that I'm speaking to, but that specifically, dude, like, I would go back and listen to that. It's incredible.
So watch this, right? Because we're close, because we have trust, right? You say, go watch this episode. What do you think I'm going to do?
Oh, you're going to go right to Apple, and you're going to find, and you're going to go Founders, and you're going to watch Walt Disney. You're going to listen to Walt Disney. Absolutely.
Because there's relationship, and there's trust there.
Yep.
Right. But if if in all the interactions we've had, if either one of us felt like we couldn't trust each other, you'd say, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, cool. I'll check it out. Yeah. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
All right, cool, man. See ya.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think people get wrong. I don't think people, because they're not living congruently day after day, then they can't earn the trust of other people because they don't even have the trust of themselves.
Yeah. Trust is a funny thing, man. And I think a lot of times when people start doing business and doing something so different than they normally done before, and they can see that on the big movie screen of their mind what it's going to look like, but nobody else can. And a lot of times what happens is that person likes to try to skip level things on accident.
Yep.
On accident. It's never intentional. I did it. Yeah. Shoot, man. To the point, I still think I do. Right.
Sometimes you skip steps because you don't know they exist.
Exactly.
Again, that's why I'm a big believer in mentorship and coaches. Like, I'm a big believer in having someone look over my shoulder outside of my purview
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm living life from the inside out. Like I'm waking up with whatever beliefs are in my mind. I'm waking up with whatever relationship struggles I may or may not have, or like I have to have someone who can see clearer picture. Like if I can't be the mountain and the what do they call those binoculars at the same time? You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, exactly. It's funny. It's funny, man. But yeah, like to your point, like mentorship, good mentors, good mentorship will allow you to see a layer of existence that you don't even know is there.
1,000%.
And that's why I love coaching. That's why I love, coaching. That's why I love doing these shows, because like I learn. It's so funny. Like someone asked me, like, what do you love most about podcasting and interviewing people? I said, well, other than the free coaching session.
Yeah, right.
And that's my answer.
It's
like
true.
That really is my answer. It's like,
I mean, it's true. I mean, I know what my hourly rate is.
Right. Exactly. Same. Yeah. It's like, I don't have people on, and I don't go on if there isn't something I can learn from that person and truly feel like, okay, this person could possibly be a part of my circle.
Yeah. 100%.
Right. Because dude, and what people don't realize is I could go into your request box and you can go into mine and be like, how are you functioning right now? Like there's like 1,000 requests here to come on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, but those are also examples
every single day.
Oh my gosh. But it's also the example of skip leveling a step that you don't know exists.
Yeah.
Right. And I just think it's important for me and you and, all of our peeps to be like, they don't know any better. They're trying to get there, man. We were there, and there's still shows I'm trying to get on, obviously. Right. But it'll happen. But I don't know, man. I just
being consistent.
Yeah, man.
And putting in the reps. People really underestimate putting in the reps.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you want to build a big business, you want to build a big show, big podcast, whatever. Just humor me for a second. You're not going to come out day one with low levels of experience and come out and kill every show you're going to be on. Mm-hmm. Dude, if you saw me on the first podcast shows I was on, I was terrible.
I was so bad.
I was talking about all kinds of stuff and all kinds of different directions. Yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute, the most successful people I see doing shows, they really hone in on one or two, three, maybe three things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So then I stopped talking about dogs and cats and going along, and whatever. I started, okay, well, I'm going to focus on Jesus. I'm going to focus on business and life.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. And then I was like, okay, well, how do I go deep in each one of those layers? All right, well, I understand the principles govern promises. I understand you have to create a legacy that outlives you. I understand that you've got to be willing to do today what others won't, so you can have tomorrow what others don't. Like, and then it allows you to really kind of like really hone in, and you get your reps and you get your practice. And as you get your practice, you get more opportunities. As you get more opportunities, you'll be on bigger shows. Yep. And that's just the way it works. Like no one's going to hop on a less than what do they call a top 0.25% show on day one. I don't care how much publicity you get.
Yeah.
People have taken years to make those shows what they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got it's okay to earn your place.
It sure is, man. I'm laughing because when you said that you're free, if you go back and watch the first podcast you were on or whatever.
Dude, I was an idiot.
Dude.
That was so bad.
So bad. Like, I'm embarrassed, right? So like a lot of times Facebook is cool because it will remind you of how crappy you used to be. And so
9 years ago,
I got like a 2 years ago today. I'm like, oh, what's that look like? I'm like, oh my God, your delivery sucked.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. It's crazy, but here's the difference between what a lot of folks do versus what people like yourself, myself, and other in our influence and circle do. We did it anyway.
Yeah.
We didn't care. All right. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be messy. I'm still gonna try.
Yeah. Well, look at Gary Vee in the wine library.
Yeah. Worked out long term.
Wow. How about that, huh? Everybody was laughing at him.
Yeah.
Now look at him. So look, dude, I feel like there needs to be a part 2. I feel like we need to do this again.
Anytime.
So let's connect offline and see if that's a possibility. But dude, thank you so much for always bringing like so much value to the world, but more specifically today, my listeners. And I just appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and share with your listeners. Hopefully I dropped something that they can add to their lives.
You absolutely A+ job, baby. A+ job.
That,
I'll put everything in the show notes, but why don't you give the audience a little bit how they can find you and what they can do to best support you right now, man?
Yeah, you know what? I think if we're looking to support us, we're looking to grow. So likes, shares, and reviews. You can check out Unstoppable on all the podcast platforms. You can actually catch our episode on YouTube. Well, actually, catch it everywhere, but YouTube, where we actually get the vibe, on camera, which is always really cool. I'm most active on Instagram personally. I will tell you, my team is also in my DMs and stuff like that. So please don't try to sell me timeshares and followers and bots and whatever.
They will. Don't worry. They will.
I will very quickly delete your stuff. And then we got StevenScoggins.com. So those are probably the two easiest way. We are everywhere. We're on X and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. But I am personally most active on Instagram, and that's just Steven_Scoggins.
Well, I'm gonna put that in the show notes. It's still weird calling it X, isn't it?
It is. I don't know. Do you call it Xing? Like now,
I call it Twitter.
I think I still call it. I think everybody still calls it a tweet.
I call it tweets. I call it Twitter. Yeah. It's Twitter. Yeah. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But listen, man, thank you so much. Oh man, I appreciate you, dude. Thank you again. And you heard the man. Go check out his stuff. Leave some great reviews, but consume his show. Listen to it and find out where this man's heart truly is to get more of what you heard today. But until next time, guys, I want you to wake up and not just be determined, but also just move through your day. And you never know what good's going to come out of it. It could be slow for the first part of the day, and you could think that nothing you are doing is working and you're not making any progress. But then that one phone call comes and it makes your whole day. And then you realize being upset about the first part of your day is something you don't need to be wasting your time with. So that said, guys, continue to push forward, go chase your dreams, and we'll see you next time. Peace. Southwest Florida is one of the most beautiful places on the planet to live. For those of you that are thinking of moving from other states to come to Florida, or even just moving to a different part of the state, I want you to think of a big, beautiful luxury home. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. They are a family-owned and operated luxury residential construction company. As a family-owned business, they believe in the power of building not just homes, but legacies. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. The nightmare of feeling like you'll never measure up, of constant second guessing and self-doubt. It eats away at you and destroys your confidence. I've been there too, feeling like I didn't belong on the field with my teammates, but it doesn't have to stay that way. I used to compare myself to everyone around me. I thought that no matter how hard I worked, I'd never be as good as the other guys. It killed my self-belief. I now help athletes develop an elite mindset so comparison no longer controls them. We teach techniques to cut out the negative self-talk and unlock their full potential. Imagine stepping into the box when it counts the most and feeling totally confident in your ability, feeling invincible instead of insecure, ready to seize the opportunity instead of shrinking from it. That's the mindset I help athletes develop. Don't waste another minute on comparison and self-doubt. Take control of your mindset and become the confident, unstoppable competitor you are meant to be. DM or comment below to get started with Edge and transform your mental game.